peace if she's approved for the role.
If confirmed, I will work to ensure that our mission to the United Nations serves the interests of the American people and represents President Trump's America First, Peace Through Strength foreign policy.
The Senate Finance Committee convenes to consider the nomination of Scott Bessent for Treasury Secretary. Oregon Democrat Senator Ron Wyden details one reason why he opposes the nomination.
He has opted out of paying his fair share of his Medicare taxes. The IRS has gone to court twice to ban this particular scheme that Mr. Bessent is using.
President Trump's inauguration speech lasted roughly 30 minutes, which is the longest inauguration speech in modern history. Madison Allworth explains.
Reagan previously held the title with his 1985 speech. That was 2.6 thousand words. Interestingly, that was also the last time that the inauguration was held indoors. So maybe the cozy atmosphere allows our presidents to be more verbose. But now Trump holds that title with 2.9 thousand words. Trump beats out Reagan, Biden, and all the rest. Trump's inauguration speech in 2017 was actually the shortest in modern history. So yesterday's speech, it was double his 2017 speech, and it touched on, as we know, many different things: his win, immigration, the economy, entering a golden age.
An Ohio think tank is urging lawmakers there to fulfill their own promise of universal school choice. More from Bronson Woodruff.
The Buckeye Institute is reminding lawmakers in Ohio what it said in the last operating budget when it allowed all families to obtain Ed Choice scholarships. This, in effect, allowed for universal school choice statewide, according to a Buckeye Institute policy memo. Greg Lawson, research fellow with the Buckeye Institute.
We basically made school choice universally available to any family that wanted to take advantage of whatever option they wanted to do. In other words, we have what's called the Ed Choice program, the scholarship program. It's gone through a number of different revisions over the last probably around 20 years or so.
He explained there is an income limit to getting the full scholarship.
This is the promise of school choice. This is an option to our families to make sure that they're able to get their students where they want to send their students and where students feel that they're going to get the best education.
Buckeye Institute explained the problem is there are obstacles in place making it difficult to exercise the freedom of choosing your child's school. These include funding. Buckeye says the General Assembly should include the appropriate DPIA, or Disadvantaged Pupil Impact Aid, in Ed Choice scholarships. It says for many disadvantaged households, Ed Choice awards alone don't give enough to cover education costs. Another obstacle is physical transportation. Buckeye Institute says despite a legal mandate for districts to transport or help pay for the transport of students to the chosen school, some districts still make it difficult. Some proposed solutions from Buckeye include resist any efforts to roll back Ed Choice eligibility or scholarships, ease charter school access to unused district school buildings, and issue state report cards to improve information available to parents. I'm Bronson Woodruff.
U.S. stock indexes are drifting higher following a mostly encouraging batch of profit reports from big companies. The S&P 500 rose 0.5%, the Dow Jones Industrial Average adding 337 points, and the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.1%. For American Family News, I'm Rusty Key.
Streaming.afa.net has now become AFA Stream, and you can find it at stream.afa.net. You see, we removed the letters ing. Our experts have determined that eliminating those three keystrokes, multiplied over hundreds of thousands of AFA Stream visits, could reduce the national debt and maybe increase the gross domestic product. AFA Stream, formerly streaming.afa.net. Improvements to the economy are purely theoretical. Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Ed Vitagliano.
And welcome back. Ed Vitagliano sitting in for Tim Wildman today. I'm joined in the studio by Fred Jackson. And now Steve Paisley-Jordahl joins us. Black shirt, paisley tie, nice jacket. That's a nice outfit. I like it.
Thank you.
Is that a Jerry Garcia tie?
It is not. It is not. But it is one of my favorites. Kind of a, it's got a lot of pretty colors.
Yeah,
on these,
that's good.
On the
nice outfit.
Thank you.
All right, Steve-O.
All right. Hey, I just wanted to, before we get started too much, we got a weather report from one of our listeners.
Yeah.
A dear listener named Phyllis Cannon called from Mobile, Alabama. She listens to us regularly, and she says it's been snowing there since 8 a.m. They expect an inch an hour, somewhere until 8 or 9 tonight.
An inch an hour?
That's what she said.
Now, what's her name again?
Phyllis Cannon.
Phyllis. So
Now,
Phyllis is maybe listening now.
I hope she is. Thank you for calling in. And
I've got a picture here of my granddaughter who lives across the bay from Mobile.
oh, does she?
She's out playing in the snow.
There you go.
Kids love snow.
So Phyllis is blind, so she can't see the snow, but she went out and she could feel it, and you could hear snow the way it muffles the surroundings and everything. She heard a couple birds fighting out what they were going to do. But then she says she thinks that what's happening with the storm, that this is God christening the Gulf of America.
Very good. Well to go.
That's what Phyllis has told us. So I'm not.
I like that. Christening the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
First of all, let me just say, I thought, and this happens a lot, at least with me, I thought President Trump, at the time President-elect Trump, was kidding about that, but he's not.
So we can actually, one of the things I want to do is talk about executive orders.
Yeah, let's go.
It's in the executive orders, renaming things, and we'll get into how that might happen.
Okay.
Let's start with this, though. One of the things that President Trump did at the signing ceremony at the Capital One Center last night is he signed a pardon for nearly every January 6th, he calls them hostages, prisoner. They're supposed to be let out on the street. We talked a while ago, a couple of weeks ago, to a gentleman named Gary Haven, who was at the time, I think we mentioned this yesterday, he was flying his helicopter out to western North Carolina to help these flood victims. Well, he has organized a welcoming party for all of the J6 prisoners as they're let out. Now, they are in dozens of prisons in dozens of states, many of them in prison far, far away from their actual homes.
Yes.
So he has what he has called ambassadors. Just a lot of, I suppose, an ambassador for every prison. So this is a 40-something, is that, Fred? I don't have.
He said 70-something
70 prisons.
They were scattered around the country.
In 70 prisons. So he's got 70 ambassadors, 70-ish ambassadors. And for those that have to travel, he has organized private jets to take them in class to their homes, if they have homes, because some of them lost homes and families.
So they lost homes. Some of them lost families through divorce. This was terrible.
Yeah, it was. And we talked to him this morning in our store meeting. And he himself is going to be on a tour today of different airports to pick these prisoners up. But that's one of the things that President Trump had promised, and one of the first things he delivered on.
Fred, this is a president who keeps his promises.
That's right.
And we have talked about this over the last 4 years. Sandy Rios has really led the fight for American Family Radio in coverage of the January 6th. In the vast majority of these cases seems like travesties of justice, where a lot of these individuals still have not been before a judge. 4 years later, I don't know how. Listen, I hope they sue the federal government. I don't like tax money coming out of our pockets and paying people. It's a waste of money, but that's what happens when the people running the government break the law or trample on constitutional rights. Somebody's got to pay to put these people's lives back together. So I am glad for, now I have said, and Tim has said, that, those who smash windows or what have you, I know there's some disagreement about whether some of these were these FBI plants. I don't know that we'll ever get the full story on this.
Oh, I think you're going to come close with
okay, you think he will get to the bottom of it?
Yeah, I think with Kash Patel. That's his mission in life now.
So what I'm trying to say is, if there are those in prison who were sentenced, if they went through the trial and then were found guilty for, breaking into the Capitol and smashing and doing whatever, okay, you should pay the price for breaking the law. I doubt 4 years in prison is justice.
Right.
Okay, especially since the leftists have no problem letting people out for heinous crimes. But anyway, I am happy to see that President Trump is keeping his promise. And like you said, good point. Maybe we will get to the bottom of some of this. There's got to be something illegal going on, and conspiracy, and talk about it as a legal term, a conspiracy to break the law and trample on constitutional rights. Otherwise, why would Biden have issued pardons?
Well, and that's
some of these people.
Yeah, not only some of these people, but his very family members. So he did yesterday do 2 rounds of pardons as he was leaving office. The first round, he pardoned people that you might have heard of, like Anthony Fauci, the members of the J6 committee, including the Adam Kinzinger and the Wyoming.
Liz Cheney.
Liz Cheney, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm looking for my notes as we're talking here. The second round of pardons, and he did this like as the swearing-in ceremony was starting.
Yes.
His family members. He pardoned a preemptive pardon for his brother, and he threw them all in. And why did he throw them all in? Well, maybe they're all guilty of something. But it's not. If there are some that would have been found out absent this pardon, putting all the names out there kind of fogs that up a little bit.
Well, okay, let me just throw this in, and this is just my opinion. You guys can feel free to disagree.
I do.
Okay. It obviously looks bad. Adam Schiff, by the way, was also pardoned.
Yes.
Last minute. Okay. California, at the time, was California Congressman Adam Schiff. It doesn't necessarily mean that Biden's family members were guilty, and thus the pardon protects them from prosecution. It could be, folks, I know some of you are going to scream at the radio. It could be that Joe Biden just did not want them, in his mind, being harassed by prosecutions. In other words, done dirty like the Biden administration did to Trump and people around him. That could be the reason why he pardoned. Or it could be that President Biden knows, that there were illegal things going on, that brothers and sisters, son, others had gotten money under the table. That could be also. So
a lot of people were asking how a man 50 years of government salary affords 4 homes and.
That's a legitimate question.
What do you mean? You mean Joe Biden could be the big guy?
Well, I'm just saying. I was sharing with Ed before we went on the air a little meme we saw of Joe Biden coming back to Delaware, getting off the plane, slipping on all his money.
I have a question though for Steve.
Yes.
Has Joe Biden always believed in preemptive pardons?
Well, as so it happens, he didn't always believe it. In fact, we're going to listen to him. I think, Brent, correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't title these things. I think we're going to listen to cut 10. We're going to hear first Rachel Maddow, I think, talking about it, and then we're going to hear from the big man himself.
This is going back to what?
This is 2020.
Before Joe Biden became president.
Before Joe Biden became president. And thank you for setting this up. The rumor was that Donald Trump was going to issue preemptive pardons for his sons and his family members. Oh, well, that's just, you can't do that, cut 10.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime?
But no, here it's an effort not only to prospectively pardon people for things they have not yet been charged with and may never be charged with, but also it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Does this concern you, all these preemptive pardons?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. In terms of the pardons, you're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons.
And the nose sure has grown.
Well, to defend the man, he might not have remembered he said that.
Well, listen, it is going to be good not to for us not to have to make fun of Joe Biden's clear cognitive decline anymore. Well, maybe we'll maybe we'll have a few shots left to take. But this is the way the left has operated. It's certainly the way the media has operated. I can't tell you how many times on X I'll see a post from someone who's on the left